Hi, in this tutorial we'll be just going through some quick tips to help you through the editing process. So to begin, the first thing we always say is that if there's a piece of text that gives you problems, split it. I'll show you what we mean by that. Suppose you're working on your names and you make it bigger, you bold it, or you italicize it, whatever you decide to do, and you find that the spacing is not perfect, simply pull it out. So we'll cut it out and we'll add it to another field, paste it, we'll drag that out. This way, by splitting your field, you have much more control as to where you want each text to go. You can move it here, you can move it there. So that's the first thing I always recommend. If you see that everything does work out nicely in one text area, that's great. If you want more control, just split them. Tip number 2, if you have more text than as shown here, suppose you have 4 or 5 of them, maybe one for the date that would go up here. Simply cycle them with the tab key. Here's my other one that I added. Let's move that out. So just tab through them all. It'll always cycle within the text area. This comes in handy when you're overlapping text, which I'm about to show you. Next tip, so let's delete these ones. Next tip is for overlapping text. So suppose we want to put an M and an S in the background. So let's add a new text. Say M. We'll Control A to select everything, and we'll make them very big. Let's try 150. Let's try 250. Let's change the font to a script. There we go. You'll notice that the text is cut. Not a problem. Add a space. So now we'll drag that here. And we'll also add the S, which we see here. So let's highlight everything. 250. Same font. This one is also cut. Add a space. There we go. We'll put this here. Now you'll notice that the text is way too dark and it's in front of the main text. What we recommend for a scenario like this is, number 1, try working from back to front. If you know you're going to put things in the background, place those first, then work with the text in front of it. If it so happens that you decide to do it after, that's not a problem. Like I said, use the tab key, cycle through the main text. We'll have to move this out of the way because it is big and it's getting in the way, so we move this out. Take the main text. We cut it, and we'll delete this one. We'll have to navigate to get to this one. We'll just move that back in. And now you add a new text. You'll notice this one is on top. So highlight everything and just simply paste it back in. So now this one will be on top. You don't see it now because the other text is black. So let's make those lighter. So we tab to the M. We use Control A to select everything. Or you can use your mouse if you're able to get there, but we recommend using the keyboard. Control A will select everything. Control X will cut. Control V will paste. This is all on Windows. Let's make it a bit lighter. There we go. Now we tap to the S, do the same thing. Control A to select all. Change the color. And there we go. So you'll notice that this text is in front of the big letters, and you'll notice that the old text that we didn't touch is behind. So that just shows you how to overlap. And tabbing like usual. So try to work with the keyboard, it actually helps. So I'll just repeat those shortcuts, they're very helpful. Tabbing to cycle, Control A to select everything, Control X is to cut, Control C is to copy, and Control V is to paste. Makes things go much quicker. And those are the tips.